Shadowheart is looked at as an ineffective cleric, mostly due to the trickery domain, which is a very, very highly specific domain that just doesn't really scratch all the itches. If you want her to become an unstoppable juggernaut of destruction, that she damn well is, you should go with a number of other domains, namely the War domain or the Tempest domain. Tempest domain is mostly a spellcaster, so let's go with the War domain and see what she can do. With regards to her cantrips, she's a cleric, so don't worry too much. You can swap these out whenever you want quite easily, just going to your spellbook. But the abilities are important. She's gonna be a frontliner that deals an incredible amount of damage. As a cleric, you always want to have high wisdom, so maximize that. But she's your secondary character and she's gonna be doing very little interactions. She doesn't need intelligence or charisma that much. Boost her constitution up to 16, allowing her to have a really strong start with high initiative and hit points. Make sure she has 13 at least in strength, as that will allow her to use heavy armor. Once you've chosen her war domain, you're going to start leveling her up, and you're going to notice a number of things. Specifically, for example, Guided Strike is your channel divinity action. It gives you a +10 bonus to your attack roll, and this is going to be quite useful, so keep it in mind. With regards to spells, of course, again, clerics, you choose your spells as you go along. Now, going forward, you're going to notice at level 3 you're going to get Magic Weapon, which gives you a +1 to your attack and damage rolls, and Spiritual Weapon. Spiritual Weapon is incredibly powerful as it allows you to summon a magical weapon that just hovers around with no concentration needed as a bonus action. This is absolutely bonkers, and it deals a decent amount of force damage as well, which is magical damage, and very few creatures are resistant to it, so it's gonna quite often hit. The downside of this weapon is it doesn't really provide zone control at all, but then that would make it utterly broken, so keep that in mind. With regards to spells at level 2, notable spells are Warding Bond and the Enhance ability, as it gives you advantage on ability checks with any chosen ability, just to keep that in mind. Level 4, you're going to want to use your feat on ability improvement, get your wisdom to at least 18, and to get your strength up slightly. This will help out quite a bit, as you are going to be swinging that hammer to wreak the wrath of Shar or any god that she decides to follow everywhere. For cantrips that you get to choose extra, you can go with resistance or light, doesn't really matter that much. Resistance is quite nice to have. And then for prepared spells, you are going to be enjoying quite a number of them. Finally, for this guide at level 5, you're going to gain the most significant upgrade to this domain subclass, and that is the Spirit Guardians and the Crusader Mantle. Crusader Mantle allows you to deal 1 to 4 extra damage, basically an additional d4 on concentration. This is always prepared, you can use it. It is a level 3 slot, but keep in mind you're going to spend 10 turns hitting harder, so the damage does add up. And you gain Spirit Guardians, which is absolutely bonkers of an ability. Creates an AoE around you that just does insane amounts of damage, be it Radiant or Necrotic, up to your choice. Also making the area also reducing the speed of the enemies by half as long as they are in this area. Something I like to do is just put it on my cleric and then run straight through the enemy, dealing damage to every single one of them that touches this AoE. Now, with regards to level 3 spells, you already have the most important one prepared. Something else that you should look on having on your cleric is Revivify. And then Protection from Energy and Beacon of Hope are always great to have, but Glyph of Warding is absolutely necessary. This essentially creates traps on the ground, and it just creates magical effects of exploding the enemies and all the heretics. Hold Person is a great level 2 enchantment to have, especially when you're at this level, as you're able to make sure the enemies cannot move and you're gonna land critical hits on them with everyone consistently. Lesser Restoration is great to have if you don't have potions, but thankfully in this game potions are very easy to do, so get yourself Aid. Aid will be able to cast at the start of the day, and it gives 5 health to everyone in your party. So summon your creatures that are going to spend the entire day with you, and then cast Aid, and you're going to gain anything from 20 extra hit points all the way up to as much as you want, especially if you upcast this ability. And for basic spells, having Cure Wounds is always great. Healing Word is nice to have, but you can switch it out with anything else. Sometimes I like to have Remove Curse just for the roleplay aspect of it. And Guiding Bolt, Inflict Wounds are always good to have. It allows you to wear heavy armor, you get Helm's Protection and War Priest, which allows you to deal using your bonus action as an additional attack if you've used your main weapon to fight. This gives you a bit of a badass attitude. Give her a Warhammer and let her smash everything in her path. And that's how you get good old Shadowheart to be very strong early on in the campaign.